Hello, everybody, and welcome to this bonus extra little episode of the Headspace podcast. But I don't know if it's really a podcast because it's just me. My name is HSR, and for the next little bit, I'll be doing a lot more of these reviews on my own just due to some scheduling conflicts and stuff like that. So just get used to this face and whatnot. Anyway, what we do here is go through the albums track by track, give you an idea of what we feel, our experiences to it. Maybe we get some things wrong, maybe we get some things right. The goal here is to start a dialogue and a conversation in that comments and just kind of talk about the album and shit. So just to let you know, as you can see, it's not the most professional setup, and I say that at the beginning just to let you know that I'm self-aware of what this situation is. On that note, I do want to just give a quick shout out to our patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Super Old School 1994, and Lindell Williams, and I'll talk a bit about that at the end. And I just want to get into it tonight. We're going to be talking about Machine Gun Kelly's brand new EP, Binge. So, I mean, on the channel a little bit, we've been following the drama surrounding MGK and Eminem, and we started off by just kind of like, well, you know, Kamikaze came out. We reviewed that. Following that, you know, Rap Devil came out, and that was exciting because for the first time in a minute, you know, people went at Eminem, and it wasn't trash. It wasn't just like some lame-ass YouTube rapper. It was like a legitimate fucking song with some personal shots fired, and that was exciting. It was in the vein of hip-hop, as I believe the Forum and the Gladiator side of the combat version of it happens. And then, Eminem does Kill Shot, which, as MGK points out in the concerts, is more of a leg shot. And then, I don't know, we talked about that. We did a little video there. It was the most popular in terms of first day performance on this channel. So when I figured we may as well talk about Binge, and nobody else would necessarily wanted to come at this with me, but I wanted to talk about Binge. I wanted to listen to it. Last year, we reviewed BROOM. And that is one of our most hated videos, as far as I believe a lot of the newer MGK fans are not happy with what I thought. And then I think some of the more OG MGK fans at least understand where I'm coming from on that album review. But I will be honest with y'all, I was kind of like condescending towards the way he chose to live his life. And as a person and reviewer since then, I've tried to become less like that. So as we talk about Binge, I will do my absolute best to withhold my personal prejudice towards the way he flaunts his drug use and stuff like that. I was a little less so on that review, and I understand that. But just to let you know how I feel about MGK, in case you're new here, I won't forget the first time I heard Lace Up. It's a fucking cool album. I listened to it recently, and it's still a cool album. There's a lot of fucking gems on there, and the way he hit this with so many styles and the speed, like he had the trap songs mixed with the rock songs, mixed with the everything stuff. It's just like, it's a bit of a mind fuck to go through like some of this MGK's early work. He was all over the place, and it was always talented and always whatever, and he had almost like a movement surrounding him trying to like rise up and shit, the Lace Up shit, you know, like, you know, almost anyone could get behind that. That's at least how I felt back then, and I really liked it. I spent time learning his songs, and, you know, I could still spit a mean wild boy if I had to. And then Black Flag came out, and I wasn't solidified as an MGK fan, but like Black Flag is one of my favorite mixtape things I've ever heard. I really like that. There's so many good songs on that. I think Mind of a Stoner is one of the nicest songs I ever heard. The fucking intro one, I think it's called Raise the Flag. Fucking dope. So I really liked a lot of that. And then I started seeing his transition over Sessions, or was it General Admission? Anyway, as I kept following it, I found that there was a lot more songs that were just different, but moving more towards a more pop direction. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean, totally props to him. He started trying a lot of new things, adding guitars, and I feel like for me since then it's been very hit or miss. There's a lot of stuff he does I like, but like I'm a bit more into an Alpha Omega or the Gunner than I am, say, a Rehab. That's just my personal preference before we jump up onto this anyway. So that I like to start like that because I think it's important that you guys know the kind of where I'm at with MGK before I talk about this album, because you know where you're at, and I don't want us to like have a communication gap. If we're not coming at it the same place, we're not going to see it at the same thing. So just keep in mind, this is how I feel, and you're allowed to feel differently, and you can call me whatever you want in those comments. Let's talk about this Binge album cover. I appreciate the title. It kind of is a reflection of like his life and where he's at. It's like a one word. You know it's going to be crazy. You know it's going to be hard hitting. It's going to sound like a binge, like a constant indulgence of whatever. And I feel like it's also like a commentary on like the way you're supposed to hit this album. You're supposed to binge it. You're supposed to listen to it again and again and again. It's almost like just the title alone has a degree of advertising in it that's pretty deep. I like that. And then, you know, it's just him, and on his like tongue, it's like a tattoo of the album cover and whatever. It fits. It's not like my favorite album cover. I like it more than the last one. It's fine. That's fine. I don't have much more to say. I don't want y'all to be whatever. I even don't want to waste fucking time. There's a lot to talk about. So we're going to start this shit off because it's been a long time coming. So, like, on the real, this is a good introduction. But, like, knowing what comes next, it's a little bit weird. All right? I'm going to start like that. Like, I like this, but I'll get into it a bit on the next one. But I feel like this is setting you up for, like, the end of, like, what BROOM sounded like. I mean, it just takes you somewhere completely different. And now maybe it's because it's like a binge. And so you start off and things are kind of calm and mellow, right? And, you know, it's been a long time coming. I'm coming. Here it is. Ain't no running now. Oh, I've seen it all from a distance. Oh, I saw everything. Really simple lyrics. He's kind of showing that he's reached his place, you know? And in a sense, it parallels into drugs, but it also, like, parallels into his career and his life and his philosophies and things like that. And it's got this soothing, calm music behind it and stuff. And then it just kind of like builds up and flows like absolutely seamlessly into the next track. I think it's a really interesting start. And at first, you're like, this is kind of weird. But then if you have ever consumed stuff, you know that there's like a calmer period at the beginning and then things just kind of slam in. So I kind of get where he's coming from. I respect that. 4.25. You know, I'm 5. It's not really my favorite song on this project, and it's fine as an introduction. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. But anyway, that's just the beginning. So let us, I'm terrible at this on my own. Let us move on. Kind of loco. Okay, shut up, Holden. Shopping sprees are over. I ain't stopping shit till I'm 70 years old. On the music video to this song, there is, or no, it's on the Genius page in the comments, the question, who is the mysterious uncredited vocals? That dude in the music video, because I didn't know who that dude was. But Genius told me it's Pete Davidson. So MGK has uncredited backing extra vocals from Pete Davidson helping this song come what it is. That's totally dope. I just wanted to share that from a factoid. I like it. It's got like a trappy feel to it. And I want to just let y'all know that when it comes to trap, it's not like my absolute favorite genre. It's not like the ones that are totally designed to me. So I'm gauging this not on its lyrical prowess per se, but more on like how I feel if I'm trying to vibe. So obviously you got to vibe to this shit, you know? On the videos, they're doing some shrooms and they're going on like these drug trips and shit. So the video's fine. It's an interesting companion piece of his song that fits well, but like it just comes in and it's such a stark difference than like the intro, which it's almost like the intro is like coming in and now your shit has kicked in and your night's about to fucking begin. And then MGK just kind of spits in with lines like, hated the most, so I keep my haters close, let him know I want to smoke, so much bread I gotta boast. I mean, I believe that's a little subliminal here to take a little quick shot at Eminem, because he does mention the smoke thing on Rap Devil, and this has been like a conversation, you know, between the two. It was mentioned again on Kill Shot. But now he's like kind of just doing otherwise a standard line, so he's hated, so he keeps his haters close. That's some like, you know, Sun Tzu shit. You know, so much bread I gotta boast, the burner turn you into toast, which is a great lyric actually from like a wit perspective. Because bread is the money, but bread's also bread. And then the gun, the burner, will fucking kill you. And he links the bread to toast. And I appreciate shit like that. So I wanted to point it out to y'all with my little elaborate style. Anyway, he's so G that he doesn't keep a pistol on him. He beats your ass to try to press the issue on him. So anyway, it's fine. He's got bitches blowing like I got a whistle on me. It's nothing like super substantial here, and I'm sorry if y'all feel like I feel like it's hard. Hard is a word I would use to describe it, but I feel like that's such a lame descriptive point from a review perspective. It doesn't have the depth I normally go for in songs, but I don't know why I like it, but he's like, hey, can't stop rolling papers. Hey, can't stop rolling papers. Hey, LSD and coca. Hey, like, it's just fucking sick. I don't know why I like it this much. It's typically not what I would go for, but the swagger that this chorus is delivered with, the fucking flow on the song and shit, and then whatever. The first part of the second verse is kind of boring to me, but then when he gets that backshot right behind that backdrop, I don't care if I fucked it up. It's still sick, man. Like, you just get this, again, like, he's fucking tripping out on drugs. Some girls is there. Shit's just going on. His life's crazy. He's introducing you to this stuff. So it's not necessarily trying to be like the wittiest motherfucker, but there's a believability to this that I find really cool. And as much as it's not subject matter I support on an ethical front, I totally would be rapping the same way if I was living that life. And I completely respect that he's keeping it real and shit. For me, it is a 4.5 on 5. It's a really solid jam. It's worthy of being a single. It's pretty, like, it's hype. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you sit there and you hear it playing. You just gotta bump to it, do some dances or whatever going on in your mind. You feel like this sick vibe. Like, I can't describe it better than that, which is lame of me, but it's sick. It's something that I wasn't expecting to like, but I would like to point out that I've now listened to Binge about 5 times maybe. On the first time, it was a little bit tough. It was not really. I was in like, oh, this is fucking shit or something. I know I'm old and sometimes it's hard to hear some newer shit and get into it, and but I fucking vibe into it now. I've come to really appreciate this one. Okay, let's move on to the GTS.
The boy lost like Dory. Only one way that I'm performing. Ay, pour it up.
For this one, I love how honest this is, man. I have some understanding of addictions and just living some crazy lifestyles for a quick minute. And like, he puts this story together about his life, and he kind of contextualizes the last song. So the last song, he's a bit loco, he's a bit crazy, he's going fucking nuts as he's living his life and doing his drugs, etc., etc. But here, he's like taking some time to pull you to the side and like giving you the behind the scenes. Like, hey, here's a story about that time I smoked everything in my inventory for the glory, and in fact, my past is gory. Like the boy man won like Corey, and I really enjoyed that. First of all, Boy Meets World is a good show. I'm hoping it's Boy Meets World. Otherwise, I'm fucking sounding dumb. You can let me know in the comments. But I really liked it because he kind of came off and he smoked all his pot and he fucking pursued this passion and he was on this shit. But it was to escape the demons of his past that were gory. And if you go listen to his old music, he really does rap a lot about smoking pot. And then I kind of like how it kind of transitions, how like his real life hit like Beckham, shitstorm looked like Maury, the boys lost like Dory. These are fun and like regular bars that he's like using here, like really tangible stuff that like even your mom would fucking be able to follow to describe his addictions and his world and where he is now. I also like the part where he's like, only way that I'm performing, pour it up, keep it coming, not anymore though. I'm not like super talented or famous like this dude is, but like I've performed a fair number of times, and even in front of like 300 people, like it's almost like pour it up. I gotta hit that stage drunk because otherwise I'll feel like stupid or whatever. And I kind of empathize, but at the same time, it's just some shit in your mind that like traps you, and so you kind of get into this cycle. And I think the last time I performed, I was one drink away from like hitting a throwing up point, and thankfully I was stopped. So don't tell her I said that. But basically, yeah, like it was a really relatable experience in some regards. I'm in my room like a recluse. Look what the fuck you people made me do. I'm 30. I don't really have a lot of friends per se. I sit here and talk to fucking cameras on the internet. I'm like, I don't really like a lot of people because I deal with my shit privately, and it's hard to be out there per se, regardless to what my past was like. So in that regard, I found myself really relating to him. But then like this song at the same time is almost like a slower version of the last one, and lyrically it's great, but I don't like the pace of the track. I don't really like the hook that much either. There's nothing wrong with the hook. I ain't taking calls. I'd be going through shit. I don't speak. It's totally fine for what it is. But like this track is a little bit less like custom tailored to my opinion. It's like a little bit more. It's not one I'm gonna remember quite as much as the last one. Like I remembered LOCO. This one I feel like I enjoy the subject matter of what he's expressing more, but the song doesn't leave such a lasting impression on me, considering all things in life and shit. But I give it a 4. I think it's really good. I think it's mostly the beat that I'm not feeling as much as the other ones, not so much MGK here, so please take that into consideration. I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone. On that note, let's go talk about the elephant in the fucking room. Knees weak, whatever, the real Slim Shady can't stand up is Rap Devil.
You're pushing 50. Why you claiming I'm a call Puff when you the one that called Diddy? Facts.
I mean, I don't know how much I can really add to the conversation on this song. I feel like this was 3 weeks ago and everyone's talked about it, but boom, it's right back here again, clocking some more sales, so his total goes up and shit. We talked about Kill Shot already. And that was a cool song in terms of like being a diss, right? I kind of had the opinion that Rap Devil was more of a fun song, and I would say right off the jump, I would give both Kill Shot and Rap Devil equally 4.5 on 5s. Neither of these songs are going to be something I'm going to be excited to listen to in 3-4 years. There's songs that are kind of relevant and trendy now, which is amazing because they capture my attention and they're giving me shit to talk about with my colleagues. But like, I don't know. I feel like they're a little bit like they're great, but they're not like excellent. They're not ether. They're not fucking hit them up, you know? Like that's what I'm trying to express to y'all. This is where I'm coming from. In the meantime, let's talk about Rap Devil, because I fucking do enjoy this track. The beat is maybe my least favorite part of it because it's a little minimalistic. It's a little bit whatever, but he used the same fucking beat maker that was on Kamikaze, which is fucking, as he put it in his Breakfast Club interview, even playing fields. Apparently, and this is according to Mr. Kelly, is that he recorded this in the studio, or sorry, in like the back room before sound check, in a closet, before doing a show or whatever, and he just kind of banged it out, video and everything apparently. And the doctored, that means fake, thing that you saw in regards to the SoundCloud posting being 6 months ago, that's allegedly not true. So in case you think it's still true, I banned this out of nowhere, which is pretty cool. I don't know why they censored Crazy on this, and I feel like the ad-libs have changed a little bit. Like there's like a couple fucks here and there. My favorite ad-lib is like when he's actually goes chomp chomp. So you were named after a candy, and he goes like chomp chomp, and like that's my favorite ad-lib. We can run into some of my favorite lines. I don't want to actually spend that much time talking about this. I feel like if you guys want me to do a deep dive into Rap Devil, I'll go fucking line by line through it like I did with Kill Shot, and I'm happy to do it like that. In the meantime, I love how he starts it. Hey, somebody grab him some clippers. His fucking beard is weird. Now, I know a lot of people think that might be corny, but Eminem's beard is fucking weird. I'm going to throw it out there. When I look at Eminem, it's a little bit whack. But the flow MGK's clipping him on is kind of cool here. And say whatever you guys want. You're not supposed to go in with the hardest punch. He's kind of coming in with this little soft little jab, and then instantly flips tough talk from a rapper paying millions for security a year. And I kind of have to agree with MGK on this point a little bit. I mean, it's just like if you do have the security, at least spin it like my goons will fuck you up, not I will fuck you up. That's all I'm trying to say. Not I can fuck you up. It's just you know it's not going to happen. So anyway, it runs on through it. He goes right after Haley after that. I found out Trick is basically a local person in Detroit who is well respected and can command a large number of people to show up and do something like block a Rick Ross from performing a show. So When Eminem says he can call up Trick, it's pretty substantial, actually. See, this is a boss move, kind of like more in line of what I was just saying with calling up security. It would imply that if he calls up Trick, a lot of people will stop MGK from literally being able to deal with shit in Detroit. Now, I'm not implying that that's exactly what would happen, but like you're supposed to pay respects is what I understand. And Trick is pretty a decent dude as far as that world is Detroit is concerned. I'm not trying to sound like anything. I don't know a lot about the subject. This is my preliminary understanding of Trick. Still, I don't think Eminem sounds like a bitch after learning more about Trick. I just wanted to throw that out there. I hate the fact that he went at Rap God and called his Rap Devil. I mean, all things considered, neither of these tracks have that much that's like next level, gotta come back to. They're flossy. You gotta be in a mood for some flossy shit, and then Rap God, throw it on, it's fucking fire. This song, throw it on, it's fucking fire. Rap God's a little more fire than Rap Devil. Rap God's better than Killshot and Rap Devil. Still, I get what he's doing here. I like how he's trying to pit himself against it, like creating the spectrum gap there. It's cool. My favorite part of this song is actually the chorus. I'm sick of them sweatsuits and the corny hats. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being rich and you still mad. Let's talk about it. I like that. I like those points that he's touched on there. I don't hate the sweatsuits and corny hats. I think they're fucking cool. I don't wear sweatsuits. I wear a lot of hoodies, but I never wore a sweatsuit. I don't know if they're that comfortable or what they're like. I don't also go to strip clubs, so never had the biggest incentive to get them. Maybe Eminem likes strip clubs. Anyway, I'm sick of you being rich and you still mad. Let's talk about it. I get that, man. Like, at least if you're going to be mad in a smart way. Like, I guess that's what he's trying to say. I mean, as much as Kamikaze's fantastic and it's hip-hop and it's taking shots at people, I'd much rather see Eminem do the Jay-Z thing where he rents out the Louvre and has a song where he's like, you ever seen a crowd go on ape shit? And then that's a hype track, man, in regards to like swagger and stuff. And Eminem really could be taking that route. And so in some regards, I kind of get where MGK is coming from. And then pointing out how they're both single dads in the Midwest. We can talk about it, you know, like we can relate, or we can fucking fight and whatnot. Apparently the Interscope thing, I don't know. Eminem says it didn't happen in an interview that is basically owned by Shade 45, so Eminem, and had Sway there, and Sway gave him the safest, easiest interview. And then MGK calls him on that interview on Breakfast Club, which is with Charlemagne. Charlemagne works for Diddy, MGK works for Diddy. Diddy could have called Charlemagne and exactly the same thing. They both did interviews on their home turf and kind of took shots at each other. I just wanted to throw that out there for anyone. It's fun. Back to Rap Devil. I'm sorry if this is not great. I'm not really used to doing these on my own. I'll get better, I promise. I hate the M you're pushing 50 line. It's kind of dumb. It really wasn't the smartest move to go after his age. It kind of backfired when M pointed out sales and success and all that shit. And because mostly 46-year-old rappers don't do that well compared to M, who's crushing. But more like, there's just so many things we could go after if you wanted to attack Eminem that I really think the age thing is kind of an immature approach. I do like how he acknowledges he's the GOAT. I think M was stupid for calling him on that. It's the only way the song is legitimate, in my opinion, is that he had these little moments of actual respect in it. But I also like how he's pointing out that he doesn't care. He's coming for you. He'll be the assassin that kills the GOAT. And I respect that. It really does position him well. I hate the part where he like disses him for being sober. I do think the math lines are funny, but I don't know. Recovery is a good album. I do think Marshall Mathers LP2 is a good album. So I'm not really sure I agree with MGK here. Flow-wise, if we want to talk about that as I just scroll through the lyrics to look for fucking interesting shit, I have a grievance with the fact that it's very consistent. Like what Eminem actually did was flip his flow so often that like you kind of just felt the song being fluid. At the end of it, you know, it's a long verse at the end that is fluid. Lyrically, I really enjoy what it's saying, and it's vibable. It even vibes pretty well on this album. So if I'm in the mood to vibe, it's a great song with a great hook. The fourth verse, I kind of would have liked it to have been broken into a fifth verse with that hook and extra time, but still it's cool. I think the Kim line is a strong way to end it to make a serious point. I think pointing out Dre was dumb because he has Diddy, as we've already discussed. And let's talk about the fucking other elephant in the room. Yellow Wolf's album has an MGK feature. That is some hype ass shit that I'm looking forward to. I hope you are too. End of the day, I get this a 4.5 on 5. I just kind of rambled. There's a lot of bars here. Like I said, if you really want me to go through it line by line, I'll do that lyrical breakdown with y'all. Sorry if you feel this was inadequate, but really, there's a lot of other songs on Binge, and everybody's fucking talked about Rap Devil. It's long. It's one of the longest tracks on the Binge project. But let's talk about something I thought was pretty cool. Let's talk about NYLON.
Fuck you, and I say it to your face, bitch. You can run and tell it to the click.
Man, this is a fun fucking song. Another 4.5 on 5 right off the jump. So it's kind of got this interesting, like, trappy beat that I really like, but it's got like a twist to it. I find that makes it really fun to listen to. And then it's just kind of like this long verse with these bars that are just fucking fun, right? Ready to die, but I can't, I'm too alive. Should have killed me when they tried, could have seen me in disguise. And at this point, I'm like, it's fine, standard. I kind of really enjoy the idea that he's like past the brink of death. Like, because you got to keep in mind, and I was going to touch on this a bit later, but quickly, he did like have that 27 song on the last album where, you know, there's almost this fear of dying coming. And so now he's moved past 27. So it's kind of like, you know, he's in that next phase. I really like a few lyrics on here a lot. Like, and you know I never lie, I kept the same number, so when you call me what, I pick up and say fuck you. The rhyming is kind of whack, but the message is proper. I recently have been thinking about changing my phone number, and honestly, hearing this line, it makes me go, but you've had this number for almost a decade, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I like the idea of maybe one day being able to pick up and say fuck you like him. MGK did here. And he'd also say it to your face, which is another big selling point he has against Eminem. These little I feel like a couple of these are little shots that are like, you hear it, the interview when you hear these lines. And he's very big on the fact that M hides, and he did this little safe interview, but like you won't see him in public talking shit about MGK, whereas MGK is doing Rap Devil in Michigan walking through the crowd, and so he's trying to drive home his realness. But really, and this is one of my favorite lines on the album, and it's kind of immature, but wait for it. 2 9s in my waist, my gun, and my dick, because he got a 9-inch dick and he's got a fucking 9mm gun. I don't know why I like that line so much, but the way he spits that shit, the way watch, I put it in reverse, put that pussy in a hearse, because get it? Ooh, his dick is his gun. He fucking slams that shit, and he fucking destroys the pussy to the point where it needs to be buried 6 feet under. That is some ridiculous rhymes. As far as like, if you're gonna rap about that shit, make it fun, make it interesting, and I really, really think he did that. I like when he pointed out how his interior designer put them cameras all around, so let me find you creeping, I come and split your shit like Moses, because you know, in the Bible, in the book of Exodus, Moses parts the sea. And honestly, it's just so unexpected. Also, that's pretty smart to like hide cameras and shit around your house to like catch people doing some weird shit. I also kind of like how he's like, never hesitate to say it to your face, I'm an asshole. And that was basically pointing out, it's basically pulling it directly from Rap Devil, and he just kind of twists it a bit and does some stuff. But I wanted to bring some attention to one of my favorite Genius annotations. So it says, she got body, she looked like a centerfold. And Vinny Vitrone goes, a centerfold is the 2 middle pages inside a magazine typically taken up by a single illustration or feature. Many adult magazines have been putting posters of very beautiful women in the centerfold for years. And I love Genius annotations like that. Like, you get so excited to click on it to learn something. And it's that. And I'm guilty of putting a few myself, but don't do that, folks. We got to put smarter shit as a group. All I'm trying to say. This song's a 4.5. I enjoyed it. I feel like there's so many fun lines. It's fucking interesting. So let's move on to the other single. Had a music video that just dropped. I also watched it. It's called Lately.
Lately, I've been having crazy thoughts. Yeah, the way I'm living, shaking.
You know, when you do embarrassing shit like confuse music videos on a song. So the other music video for LOCO had cars and shit. And for those of you that like came at me, this is me trying to redeem myself several songs later. It's got the one with the shrooms is this video, and I really liked it. LOCO, it was similar in some ways, but Yeah, I really liked how he gets all red in his face and shit. Lately is my favorite song on the project. Spoiler alert. I gave this a 5. I'm gonna just start with the grade real quick because it is a fucking phenomenal experience. It's lately I've been having crazy thoughts. The way I'm living, shit get crazy. Tell me lately why we barely talk. You know I'm trying to change, but it's very hard. And like, if you come from some darker shit in your past, like you made some mistakes, some bad habits, maybe developed a couple of unhealthy addictions in your life. I don't just mean drugs. I mean like ordering food or whatever. I'm trying to pick a safe stuff, but you could think of all the worst shit that you do. And when you get to a point where you're trying to like transition to a better plane of existence, stuff like these choruses I find really relatable and amazing. And the way this Ronnie JB is fucking next level. Nils and Slim Double X helped them with that. I guess they all produced it together. It says, but like I fucking love this chorus and the way it flows over it. But then I feel like if we look at this album a bit like a drug trip, right? We had the Rap Devil, which is like the explode. So you have Loco, which is like the drugs have just kicked in after that calm intro. GTS is a bit of a justification. Rap Devil is like when the pills and shit make you get all angry and you go fucking snap at the people who are hating on you or whatever. And then we move on to Nylon, which is more of like you've calmed down, you're coasting, but you're still feeling a certain way and you spitting and shit. And now you're at lately when it's kind of cooling off for a quick minute and you've had some time to digest and you just feel a certain way of like defeatedness and like life's been getting to me. I just started smoking squares. I'm stressed, but they ain't getting in my circle, dog. We still prepared. So I just found out that squares are cigarettes. And I guess I should have guessed that because he's, I believe, smoking a cigarette in that scene. But it also means lame people. And so they're not getting in a circle, which is his clique, because they're squares. So it's like a shape connection. Like super wit, but like it's cute. It's pretty good. They're still prepared. He's dealing with some demons that ain't really there. Grew up a screw up, pierced my hair, dyed my fucking hair like dad. And I dig that shit, man. Like, I kind of relate to that, especially being a teenager and wanting to go. I remember one time I like snuck off and got a mohawk, and my parents lost their fucking shit. But like, you know, trying to like, I remember that in 7th grade, I didn't even have a bed I had to share. It wasn't that bad for me, but I understand. The fuck you think I go so hard for it? I got out of there. That I relate to. I moved from like working class to like middle class. I understand. It's not MGK relative, but relatable. Have you ever had someone try to take your life? No. That I haven't had, but it makes me understand your need for drugs more. And sometimes I ain't safe for myself when I stay up at night. That I can relate to. Some of the dumbest shit I've ever done in my life is because I chose to stay up. I should have just gone to bed. But like, it goes back into the hook, and you just get the sense if he's at night freaking out over whatever in his mind, reminiscing, maybe remembering, and he's coping, and he's just kind of telling you what's going on lately, and he's not as young as he used to be, so he's probably changing and becoming more mature and wise in the midst of this chaos. Look, I promised myself I ain't never going home. 9 years old, my mama left me in Nicole. Hey, what you think that type of shit do to your soul? Found someone that finally loved me. Still, I treat her like a hoe. That shit is fucked up. I can relate to that. I had some very bad role models in terms of parents and stuff, right? And again, the honesty in this song mixed with his delivery, mixed with the simpleness of the message to just feel it over the dope beat. That's why I'm loving this song. I can relate to just my dad being a shit, and it impacted how I treated women for a while. And even the lines like you find somebody that can accept you for who you are and you still just disrespect them and shit. I understand it's not right, but I like the fact that he's self-aware in this. It felt like in the last album, Bloom, it was like a big justification for the rush, but here with Binge, it's more like an explanation for it. And I found myself really empathizing, and that's really cool. Now let's talk about, I know they tried to warn me about my ghost, you know them kids be with the yay, and now them kids be seeing ghosts. I like that, because Kid Cudi got with Kanye, kids see ghosts. But then it's just the idea of like what happens with cocaine and seeing, and just the shadows, I guess, the darkness, the memories, the skeletons in your closet and shit, I imagine is what he's alluding to. I've never done that particular drug, so I don't know what it does to you in a long-term effect, but I have met some people who've been on it for a minute. And I don't know, I like that line a lot. I thought it was really cool. I kind of like the little bridge thing. I get this a 5. It's an amazing song. If I were to recommend one off the jump, it wouldn't be Rap Devil. It would be Lately. Anyway, let's move on to Signs.
Stayed up, can't sleep, couple chick.
All right. This is my least favorite song on the album. I'm sorry if this is like your favorite one, and it's one of those ones where you're throwing up fire emojis and throwing up bars and going hard, and it probably does all those things. That's not my issue with it. It's just not my style. Is more what it is. 24 Hours is actually really cool for what he does. I just don't really like it. I think my main thoughts on this is, why did Eminem call MGK a mumble rapper? Like, when he's really... Maybe that's what happened. So maybe MGK put this guy on who's like a talented quote-unquote mumble rapper just so Eminem could hear what a mumble rapper would sound like next to MGK. Epiphanies. Anyway, I don't have it. I don't have an issue with that. I mean, it's just like hold up, roll up, bad bitch, shotgun, toes up, gang signs, my block, all tattoos on the top, whoop, you can never see my night, rockstar, that's my life. I don't care about these songs normally. I don't know why I would care a lot about this one, because it's not like MGK is being super fly like he was being in LOCO, in my opinion. It just kind of is fine. He's just getting girls, doing drugs, doing his thing. The guy sings. I don't know. There's almost nothing in this song that I find super substantial. I don't like the Don't You Ever Try My Life, VVS Diamonds, My Eyes, Brand New Range Rover Black, She Can Never Come Back. Okay. I mean, I get that they're just fucking groupies, but I feel like this album had a certain degree of like style and shit, and just the VVS, like 24 Hours contribution is very standard, very regular, very what you would expect it to be, in a way that's a little bit too much like that for me. So I give this a 3.75. I don't think this is that good of a song. I understand that you might. I think that this is a song that does what it's supposed to do, but doesn't do anything more than that. And that's just my feelings on it. Sorry, you don't have to like me. You don't have to do whatever. Get the fucking broom.
One lift off, yeah. Wait to get the broom, I had to beat a bitch off.
I do like how diverse his voice gets on this song. I think it's got a certain degree of interest into it. There is a question I have. So, like, let's check it. Picked up where I left off. 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off. Yeah. Once you get the broom, I have to beat a bitch off. What the fuck is he talking about? Now, I'm sorry if I'm missing a point. Sometimes that happens. That's why I'm not going to try and interpret it. I'm going to ask you, the internet, what this means. So, I come at it from a sillier point of view because that's the type of person I am. I picture MGK as a witch, and he has a witch broom, or a Harry Potter broomstick. He's a wizard, we'll call him. And he has to go fly off, but then there's a woman on his broom, so he's got to knock her off and like fly off. Or he needs a broom, and the witch has the broom. I say witch because it's a fucking broom, and he like flies off. Otherwise, it's like he's beating her with his stick, like a broom. I feel like I don't know what the slang is supposed to be. I'm missing the point on that. Sorry. People get so crazy when you're rich and famous, but I ain't no jackpot hoe, did this ain't Vegas. So I dig that. He's not really like the other dudes paying out and shit. He's just whatever. People expect certain things from him, maybe money-wise. He's not down for that. I do like the premise of this track. Hey, don't be asking questions who I'm dating. And even if I got a girl, she know I'm playing. So that's cool, because sometimes when they fuck up around a lot, they don't tell their partner, and that causes problems. But if the girl knows that MGK is going to be a slut and still chooses to be with him, that means MGK did the right thing and he was being honest with that. So I respect that shit. But then he says the weirdest shit. Hey, smoke that tree like Widow, then moonwalk like Jaden. That's just like using Will Smith's kids as a pun for like no anything. Like it doesn't add value. It's just vapid. And I think that's part of my issue with some of the songs here, is that there's some interesting like puns, but they're almost so obvious that they're not like great. Now, I'm sorry if you feel like it's the hardest. This is how I feel. A bossed up, got my gang rich, like this shit contagious. A twisted on my fingers, no, this ain't sign language, this that gang shit. I was raised by that up the way shit. See, that line's fucking cool. That has a certain degree of like, authenticity on fire. It's not creepy and weird like listing Will Smith's children. Anyway, I like how he like rents out the top floor of a hotel, has hoes everywhere, etc., etc. But like, there's really not a lot to this song aside of that. Hold on. Cops so racist. 13-year-old boys lost my boy. Shed tears for him. Raised by wolves. So when I'm nice, you know that's me. I'm in rare form. It's okay. Right before the cops so racist is breakthrough rules because y'all don't know own my life, man. Suck my dick. Cops so racist. 13-year-old lost my boy. Shed tears for him. I don't know what happened in that situation, and I don't want to invalidate anything there. But it caught me so fucking like off guard, even with the fuck the police and the dogs, hold up, break the rules. Like, it's just so out of randomness. This cop so racist, like he just threw it in. Like, this is not a song for social justice, is all I'm trying to say. This is or maybe I don't understand the song. Why weren't we just doing drugs in the hotel? Look, I don't get it. That's all I'm trying to say. It's a 4 for me. It's okay. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. It's a 4. Let's move on to the last one on this, because, yo, we got to live fast and die young.
Out my face. I cannot feel my face. I don't want time, just face.
All right, so, like, this one is kind of like, I get the feeling that he had his brush with death with drugs, as he points out on his track. And now he's just, like, telling the whole world, this is how I'm going to, like, live. I can't feel my face. Get the fuck out my face. I don't want time, just face. Put it all on her face. And you're just coming in with this aggressive, like, he's just living. Like, he's faded. He's in the moment. He's at the very end of his drug trip, I guess, or he's climaxing in it. I don't really know. But he's maybe just coming down even. Or he feels a certain way, or he's reflecting on all of this shit. But that, like, post-chorus, the I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, live fast, die young. I mean, at first I was like, this is kind of whatever. But again, this one grew on me because it has like this transition, right? Where it's the way he's been living. It's this fast-paced shit. Like, I've been getting lit since 11 years old. Go ahead, caught a cops. I'm on the roof in my fucking socks. Like, he just doesn't care. He's out there. He's fucking doing his shit. And then he's just raging. He's not going to stop getting high. He admits to almost dying, but he's still going to continue doing it. Hurry up and pass the blunt, yo. That's basically his attitude. And you know what? A year ago, I would have been like, this is fucking dumb. But I appreciate where he's coming from with his honesty, and he's like putting out where he's at with his mind. However, last year, I thought he sounded like he was promoting things. Here, I feel like he knows shit's fucked up, and he's just telling you how he's going to live life, and he's expressing his pain. And, like, I empathize with him. I can support what he's, like, kind of putting out here. It makes me find it really interesting. Whereas the last album, it just kind of sounded like life is gravy. But now I know life isn't gravy, and I know it isn't because you're that fucking high all the time. And I like this album, or at least the way this flowed out. It took a while, and then it just has the most jarring transition into like a sped up version of the intro. And this is the best part. It's like, yeah, because this is where like the drugs stop, and you're kind of done now, and you're kind of like looking around at the end of the night and what happened. Or in his case, remember, it's like a parallel for his career. So yeah, head on, no backing down, can't play around, did a lot of shit in my past, fuck that, look at me now, head on, no backing down, etc. And then it ends with I wear the crown. A little bit grandiose, but at least, relatively speaking, it must feel like he's a king compared to where he comes from. If I was there, I'd feel like a fucking king. He's not the king of everyone, in my opinion, but he is pretty substantial. He's done a lot. And it brings the album full circle to like the beginning of the drug trip to the end of it, like this calming thing, although it's a little bit sped up. It's a little bit more upbeat and shit, which makes sense. I really like that. It's this like sense of completion. Like MGK has finally hit that point where he knows where he's at. Like he's now had #1 hits and shit is all I'm trying to say. Like Rap Devil was fucking big for him. And I feel like he's made it. He's made it into that league of people know his name that he never had before. Yes, he had a lot of fucking, like, buzz, in my opinion. Probably internationally. Definitely sold over 20 million records, like he said, if you consider, like, a global count. But he only had 7.5 million all in, everything he ever sold, kind of thing, singles and albums for the USA. Now I believe that so many mainstream news outlets have mentioned his fucking name that he's gotten way bigger buzz than ever before, which is just perfect for him. He's officially there. He now gets to join conversations he didn't before. So I like the way this ends holistically like that. And I gave this track a 4.5 on 5. So if we want to just, I guess, talk quickly about the album as a whole, I gave it a 4.33. There are a few tracks I'm not a huge fan of. There are some I really, really like, really enjoy the vibe to it. I think overall it's a really good project. It holds its own. It's honest. It's got this rush to it. It's got this vibe, this energy that is enjoyable to listen to. Even the songs I don't like, in the context of the album, they're really good. Just as individual songs, they don't fit as well into my life. Whereas something like LOCO kind of brings me to a place, and something like, I don't know, Signs just doesn't do it for me as much. But I really am happier with Binge than I thought I would be. I at first was a little bit of a hater in my mind. I was a little bit nervous to even talk about it, but honestly, I enjoyed this project. It's not my favorite MGK project, but it really makes me believe that this guy is about to create some of the best work of his life. If he can keep up this honest, voyeuristic, gonzo-styled, like Fear and Loathing type of journalism, Hunter S. Thompson, I believe his name is, like that kind of approach, I think he has a lot to come, and it makes me excited. So I'm happy I talked about this. But more importantly, I want to know what you thought of this project. I want to hear what you thought of this review, all of that good stuff, because thank you for watching this. It really always means the world to me that you guys bother to come and check this out, and I would love it if you could join the conversation down below and let me know what you think. Special thanks to the patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Linda Williams, Supersco 1994. If you want to get us to review anything in specific, you can check that out. Join the review pool, where basically you throw in and we just review all the albums in that pool. Plus, you get a free one that we'll do almost right away when you join. So whatever the fuck you want to see us do, whether it's your project, whether it's something else, it's a good way to make that happen. Check it out over on Patreon. Otherwise, if you can hit that subscribe button, it would be dope. Hit that like button if you did like it. Hit the dislike button if you fucking don't like my face. Comment, tell me what you thought. On that note, I'm a go, and hopefully get this up early enough that y'all care about it still. Peace.